Hi viewers, in this class I am going to explain ozonolysis of alkene. Here ozonolysis of alkene is a method of oxidative cleavage of alkene, okay, double bond. Then it is used to determine the position of double bond where it is present in the molecule. So when go to the reaction, when alkene reacts with ozone in the presence of dichloromethane, trichloromethane and tetrachloromethane. The CaCl3 also called as chloroform. In CCl4 also we can call carbon tetrachloride. Okay. At minus 78 degrees centigrade, first they produce molozonide. So this molozonide is very unstable. So that's why it is rearranged to ozonide. This formed ozonide gives various product based on the different reagents which we are using in the reaction. Okay, so let us see some reaction with different types of reagents. Okay, so let us see a reaction. So for example, here I am taking one alkene. Okay, so when it is reacts with ozone, what will happen? See here, ozone is present like this. Okay, here 3 lone pairs on this oxygen, here 1 lone pair, here 2 lone pairs are there. So when you take the formal charge, for this oxygen 0 formal charge, for this oxygen plus 1, for here minus charge. Okay, here minus charge is there. So in this, alkene acts as a nucleophile, ozone acts as a electrophile. Always nucleophile is attacked by electrophile. So when you take the different types of alkenes, which alkene is more reactive in the ozonolysis? Electron releasing group containing. Okay, electron releasing group containing alkene is more reactive, because when alkene is a nucleophile, when electron releasing groups present on the alkene, more number of electron releasing group present on the alkene, electron density in alkene increases. That's why when the electron density increases in alkene, that easily attacked by the electrophile. Okay, that's why electron releasing group, more electron releasing group containing alkene is more reactive in the ozonolysis. So let us see what will happen first in the alkene. So when you take here, when this oxygen with positive charge, this pi bond shifted towards oxygen side, then this oxygen gets neutralization and this oxygen gets positive charge. This positive charged oxygen neutralized by shifting of this pi bond towards oxygen. Then when this carbon gets positive charge, when this bond shifted towards here, this positive charged carbon neutralized by the shifting of this negative charge towards this carbon. Then it will give a product first, that is R C R single bond, here R H. Okay, this carbon with this oxygen, then one more oxygen, then here one more oxygen, here single bond formed between this carbon and oxygen. So after formation of bond between these two, remaining lone pairs 2 here. So here also remaining lone pairs 2, because this pi bond shifting here, already one lone pair is there. When this pi bond shifts here, one more lone pair will come. Here already 2 lone pairs are present. So this is called as molozonide. This is called as molozonide. Okay, this molozonide is very unstable. This molozonide is very unstable because here lone pair repulsions are present. So due to the lone pair repulsions, this molozonide is very unstable. So that's why it undergoes rearrangement. Okay, that's why it undergoes rearrangement. So how it will undergo the rearrangement? So let us see. First this bond shift towards here to form a double bond between this carbon and oxygen. Okay, then this carbon gets positive charge. That's why to stabilize this positive charge, this bond shifted towards here, then pi bond formation takes place, then this bond shifting towards oxygen side and this oxygen gets negative charge. Then let us see what will happen here. Two fragments formation takes place. One is RCR, between this oxygen and carbon double bond formation takes place, plus, okay, between this carbon and oxygen double bond formation takes place, C or H, here double bond O. Then after donation of lone pair, this oxygen gets positive charge and one more lone pair is present, and when this bond shifts here, this oxygen with negative charge, oxygen with negative charge, okay, because here three lone pairs are there, that's why oxygen charge negative, okay. Then to our convenient purpose, so I am writing this fragment like this. Let us see how we can write. R C double bond O, here R. So like this I written this. Here this is with two lone pairs. So let us see what will happen. So due to the positive charge on this oxygen, this bond shifted towards oxygen, then again this carbon gets positive charge, this oxygen gets neutralization, okay. Then to stabilize this positive charge, this bond shifted towards carbon side to form a new bond between oxygen and carbon. After shifting of this bond, this carbon gets positive charge, that is neutralized by negative charge. Then we can write a compound that is RCR, here oxygen, between this oxygen and carbon new bond formed, okay. Then this contain R and H. Next, between this carbon and this oxygen new bond, then this oxygen bonded to another oxygen, this is with carbon, okay. This is called as ozonide, okay. So each oxygen with two lone pairs. After formation of ozonide, this ozonide gives different products, various products based on the reagents which we are using, okay. So for example, so I am taking a reagent here, that is H2O in the presence of zinc, or also we can write here zinc H2O, like this also we can write zinc H2O. So initially what happens here, so cleavage of bonds takes place in this manner, okay. R group, carbon, R group. So when the cleavage takes place, that means carbon losing one bond, oxygen losing one bond, that's why between carbon and oxygen double bond formation takes place. Here also carbon losing one bond, oxygen losing one bond, that's why, so between carbon and oxygen one new bond, means pi bond formation takes place. The remaining oxygen, okay, gained by H2O, and it is converting into H2O2, okay, it is converting into H2O2 plus, so write the remaining products here, R C R, here double bond O, plus R C double bond O, here which one is there, so R group I am writing here H. So this is an aldehyde, so this is an ketone, means aldehyde ketone depending upon this groups present on the carbon. If here R group and hydrogen here, that means here the R group hydrogen here, that is also aldehyde. Here R group and R, that ketone. Otherwise two hydrogens may present here, here also two hydrogens. So based on the groups present on this carbon, so we can say that may be aldehyde or ketone, okay. So in this H2O2 formed, that means H2O, by taking this nascent oxygen after formation, then H2O converting into H2O2. This H2O2 is a mild oxidizing agent. H2O2 is a mild oxidizing agent. So when you don't remove H2O2 from the reaction mixture, this H2O2 oxidizes the groups which are formed in the reaction. Okay, so when this H2O2 reacts with this aldehyde, then it is converting into carboxylic acid. It is converting into carboxylic acid. But this H2O2 cannot convert this ketone into the carboxylic acid. Okay, but if you take any other groups here, instead of R groups, if you take any other group, okay, then that will converting into carboxylic acid. Okay, for example, if you take here HCH double bond O, okay, this is formaldehyde. This formaldehyde converter into carboxylic acid in the presence of H2O2. Okay, aldehydes converting into carboxylic acid when you take the mild oxidizing agent, that is H2O2. But this H2O2 cannot convert this ketone into the carboxylic acids. Okay, here when you don't want the products of these carboxylic acids, what we have to do? So we have to, okay, oxidize this. Okay, we have to oxidize this H2O2. So means here what will happen in this reaction? So when you remove the H2O2 from the reaction mixture, so reaction stops at formation of carbonyl compounds only. They are not converting into the carboxylic acids. So for that only we are using zinc in this reaction. So what zinc will do here? Zinc reacts with H2O2 and convert H2O2 into the zinc oxide plus H2O. So if you remove the H2O2 by using zinc, okay, by using zinc, then these carbonyl compounds present like carbonyl compounds only, there is no further oxidation takes place. Okay, clear? So when you use only H2O, this H2O converts, H2O takes this nascent oxygen and converting into H2O2 and different carbonyl compounds. In the presence of H2O2, so it is a mild oxidizing agent, that's why this H2O2 converts these aldehydes to the carboxylic acids but not ketones. To stop the reaction at formation of carbonyl compounds, so what we have to do? We have to remove the H2O2 from the reaction mixture. So to that we are using zinc here. So zinc removes the H2O2 in the form of zinc oxide plus H2O. That's why reaction stops at the formation of carbonyl compounds only. So there is no further oxidation to the carboxylic acids. So in this reaction, so reduction takes place. Okay, that's why zinc H2O is called as reductive ozonolysis. Reductive ozonolysis. Okay, means your ozonide undergoing reduction. So loss of oxygen takes place, correct or not? Okay, in the ozonide 3 oxygens are there. So when you use the zinc H2O, loss of oxygen takes place. That is nothing but reduction. Loss of oxygen is nothing but reduction. So that's why we are calling this is a reductive ozonolysis. Okay, so this reductive ozonolysis takes place in the presence of zinc as well as some other reagents. So what are the other reagents we can use instead of zinc? Let us see here. So what is the first reagent we used? Zinc H2O for reductive ozonolysis, and also we can use zinc with acid. Okay, for example CH3COOH carboxylic acid, or also we can use dimethyl sulfide, or also we can use triphenyl phosphine. Okay, or also we can use H2 plus catalyst. So here different catalyst we can use, that is nickel, palladium, platinum, or also we can use sodium sulfide. Zinc H2O already we discussed. Instead of zinc we can also use zinc acid and dimethyl sulfide, triphenyl phosphine, H2 plus catalyst are nickel or palladium or platinum, or also we can use Na2 SO3. So by using this, okay, by using these reagents, okay, so we can convert this alkene into the carbonyl compounds. Okay, alkene into the carbonyl compounds. Okay, so let us see some other reactions, how we can write in a simple way. Okay, here one shortcut is there, how to write the products in ozonolysis. Okay, so let us discuss how to write ozonolysis product in a simple way. Okay, so when you take the same alkene which I explained just now, okay, here when this alkene on ozonolysis, carbonyl compounds formation takes place in the presence of zinc H2O. Okay, that correct. Then to write the simple way, so here this bond breakage, okay, bond breakage, then add one oxygen here, one more oxygen here. Then write the two products which are coming. R, C are here. This carbon losing double bond breakage takes place, and the double bond formed with oxygen, then we can write double bond O. Next, this R group, carbon, here H. Here also this carbon losing this double bond, and new double bond formation takes place between carbon and oxygen. So this is the trick. So whatever the molecule, okay, it's given in the exams. So what we have to do? Between the carbon and carbon, double bond breakage takes place, and this carbon forms a double bond with this oxygen, and this carbon forms a new double bond with oxygen. Okay, this is the way we can write in a simple way. Okay, so for example, if you take CH3, CH3, double bond C, CH3 is there. So this is when reacts with ozone in the same condition, zinc H2O. Then which formation takes place here? So just what we have to do, break this bond and add one oxygen here, here one oxygen. Then two products formation takes place. Those are CH3, C double bond O, CH3 plus here CH3, C double bond O, H. So this is acetone and this one is acetaldehyde. Okay. So based on the groups which are present on this double bonded carbon, product formation takes place. So let us see different examples. Okay. For example, if you take CH2 double bond CH2, when reacts with O3 in the presence of zinc H2O, then formation of product takes place like this. Break the double bond, add one oxygen here, one oxygen here. Then that will give CH2O, CH2O. 2 moles of CH2O formation takes place. And CH2O is nothing but formaldehyde. HC double bond OH, formaldehyde. Okay. So then you take CH3, CH double bond CH2. When reacts with O3, here break this bond, add one oxygen here, one oxygen here, then it will give CH3, CHO as one product, and here CH2O, one more product. Means acetaldehyde and formaldehyde formation takes place. So if you take another CH3, CH double bond CH, CH3 with O3, okay, then it will produce CH3. Break this bond and add one oxygen here, one oxygen here, then that will give CH3, CHO plus CH3, CHO. Means how many moles of CH3, CHO formation takes place? Okay, 2 moles. So already we discussed one molecule here. Okay, then we take next type of molecule CH3, CH3, double bond C, CH3, CH3. 4 alkyl groups are present on double bonded carbons. When this is on ozonolysis in the same condition, so we will give CH3, means here break this bond, add one oxygen here, CH3, CH3 here, double bond O plus, here also CH3, C double bond O, CH3, CH3, C double bond O, CH3. Okay na? Okay, so you like this. Okay, here two aldehydes formed, here one aldehyde, and here also aldehyde. Here aldehydes, two aldehydes formed, here two aldehydes, here two aldehydes, here one ketone, and here ketone. Two ketones formed. Here in this case one ketone, one aldehyde. That means based on the groups present around the double bonded carbon, product formation takes place. That may be aldehyde or ketone. So for this reaction, okay, we can also use different types of reagents which I explained just now. So what are the reagents? Once again you see, okay, already we are using zinc H2O, or also we can use zinc acid, okay, and also we can use dimethyl sulfide, and also we can use triphenyl phosphine, also we can use H2 in the presence of catalyst like, okay, nickel, palladium and platinum, and also we can use Na2SO3, sodium sulfide. Okay, these types of reagents will give similar type of products. So this reaction is called as reductive ozonolysis, because reduction of ozonide takes place. That's why we are calling it as reductive ozonolysis. Okay, reductive ozonolysis. So this reductive ozonolysis also takes place in the presence of lithium aluminum hydride. So lithium aluminum hydride as well as NaBH4, sodium borohydride. But when you use lithium aluminum hydride and sodium borohydride, alcohols formation takes place. Alcohols formation takes place. So let us see, in reductive ozonolysis, when you use lithium aluminum hydride and NaBH4, how alcohol formation takes place. So directly I am explaining in a simple way. Okay, when you want to write ozonolysis product, what you have to do? So break the double bond and keep one oxygen left side, one oxygen right side. Okay? Okay, let us discuss. So reductive ozonolysis in the presence of lithium aluminum hydride and sodium borohydride. So already we discussed some types of reductive ozonolysis in the presence of various reagents. So now I am going to explain. So reductive ozonolysis in the presence of lithium aluminum hydride and sodium borohydride. Okay, so when this alkene reacts with ozone and H2O, already we discussed, first mole ozonide formation takes place, then ozonide formation. That ozonide gives carbonyl compounds plus H2O2. Okay, so which type of carbonyl compounds formation takes place? RC double bond O R plus here R C double bond O H. Okay, these carbonyl compounds, one is aldehyde, one is ketone. Okay, so the aldehyde ketone, so it depends upon the R group. Okay, so if you take R group alkyl, two alkyl groups, that will give ketone. Okay, if you take one hydrogen, that will give aldehyde. Okay, plus H2O2. Okay, so if you remove the H2O2 from the reaction mixture, they are only present as carbonyl compounds. So if you don't remove the H2O2 from the reaction mixture, because of mild oxidizing capacity, this H2O2 convert these aldehydes into the carboxylic acids. That will not affect on the ketone. Okay, so instead of zinc and some reagents what I explained just now, if you use lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride, okay, lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride, so these are the strongest reducing agents. So these strongest reducing agent, so reduces not only H2O2, they also reduces the carbonyl compounds which are formed in the reaction. Previously when you take the zinc only reduces the H2O2, not carbonyl compounds. But here when you use the lithium aluminum hydride or NaBH4, so these are the very strong reducing agent. That's why they reduce H2O2 as well as carbonyl compounds into alcohols. Alcohols formation takes place. Okay. Then in the presence of lithium aluminum hydride, these carbonyl compounds are converting into alcohols in this way. So when you take the ketone converting into secondary alcohol, and so this one converting into primary alcohol. Means what happening here in a simple way, you see, okay, add one hydrogen here and one hydrogen here. Okay, in this reduction with lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride, add one hydrogen here, one more hydrogen here. That's why what will happen? RCr, carbon with one hydrogen, oxygen with one hydrogen. So when you add two atoms to a double bonded atoms, then what will happen? Double bond change it to the single bond. Here also same, add one hydrogen to the carbon and add one hydrogen to the oxygen, then that is converting into the alcohol. So in this way, okay, in the presence of lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride, okay, alkenes converting into the alcohols. In the previous, when you use the previous reagents, okay, alkenes converted to the carbonyl compounds, so that may be aldehyde or ketone based on the groups present on the molecule. Let us see one example with this. For example, so if we take CH3, CH double bond CH3, when reacts with O3 in the presence of lithium aluminum hydride and sodium borohydride. Okay, any one of the reagent we can use here. Okay, then what will happen? Okay, that will give CH3, CH2, OH plus CH3, CH2, CH3, CH2, Here two primary alcohols formed based on the reagents. Okay, so if you take another molecule CH3, CCH3, double bond CCH3, H, in the presence of similar reagents, what will happen? Let us see. Okay, CH3, CCH3, here CHOH formation takes place. Okay, break this bond and write here hydrogen to the carbon. Okay, and here one OH, CH3, CCH3, here CH, OH plus. Okay, here CH3, CH already present. Okay, CH3C, hydrogen to the carbon and OH here. Then it will give CH3, CH, hydrogen, OH. That means we can write this molecule as CH3, CH2OH. This is a primary, okay, alcohol. This one is secondary alcohol. Okay, this formation of primary and secondary alcohol depends upon the groups present on the double bonded carbons. Okay, so like this, so we can take the reductive ozonolysis in two ways. Okay, reductive ozonolysis takes place in two types of reagents. So one is lithium aluminum hydride or sodium borohydride, and one more type of reagents are zinc H2O, zinc acid, H2 in the presence of catalyst, and triphenyl phosphine or dimethyl sulfide, okay, or Na2SO3, sodium sulfate. So like this reductive ozonolysis takes place. Okay, in the next video I am going to explain oxidative ozonolysis.